My last video, I did a general overview of an aspect of getting a likeness. This time, I'd like to try to break it down into steps or stages. First off, head construction. I start with my preferred method of head construction, the Loomis method. I've established what I believe to be the correct placement of the features and envelope of the head, and I'll make only minor changes to those later on. As I've said before, if the method alone got you the likeness, then I would be done. As it is, I'm not even close. The person whose likeness I'm trying to get is Miss Scarlett Johansson. Just to let you know right from the start. Alright, secondly, adjusting shape of the features. The second stage will be all about adjusting the position and shape of the features. That is the nose, eyes, and the mouth. This will be a continuous process right to the end of the portrait. As you'll see, I've now entered the Leonardo DiCaprio stage of the drawing. We definitely don't want to stop here, but many people do stop here and declare the drawing a failure. This is what I meant by observation. You can either observe that it doesn't look like the model and give up, or you drill down further into the features and discover what you've missed. I've mentioned the iris as an example in the previous video. How much of it is visible, the curvature of the iris, how much of it is obscured by the upper and lower lids, even how much of the sclera is showing is important, since we all look each other in the eye when we're speaking to one another. On to the third one. This is when I'll start addressing the planes and the musculature of the face. Now that I've modeled the features a little bit, I'll start looking at the planes of the face. I mean, you should always be aware of the planes of the face, but at the same time be aware if those planes are even present themselves in the model or photograph visually. Don't introduce them if it will sacrifice the likeness. Alright, I'm about at the Ellen DeGeneres stage of the drawing. The things I'm looking at now are fat pads in the face, which usually show up as fullness of the cheeks or jaw, or whether there's any hollowness in the sockets of the eye. Fullness or lack of will help me determine how prominent the planes of the face will be. It will either be rather rounded, giving a youthful look, or various hard edges, giving a look of age. The musculature of the face varies quite a bit. Those bumps and ridges lend a lot to a person's individuality. The large muscles of the mandible and the muzzle area create the protrusions that could give you that instant recognition, i.e. Mick Jagger or Steven Tyler. I'll be on to shading next. Here I'm hatching and using markers for value. You choose your drawing implement of choice. The shading is going to emphasize the features and planes of the face, strengthening that likeness, hopefully. I kind of think of shading as a sporting actor. If the drawing is correct and you've uncovered all the quirks of the model, then the shading will make the likeness pop. And as I said before, this is all a continuous process. I'll be adjusting everything right until the end, trying to make sure I've discovered everything I can and being aware that the individual features work well with each other, i.e. not a caricature of the person. This is a slow process. It is a gradual process. So there is no big surprises that are going to leap out and say, I've got the likeness. Though sometimes it does happen. When I say that I trust the process, I'm not saying it is simple blind faith. I understand that my attention to detail and perseverance will determine if I get the likeness. Alright, finally, I'm nearing the end. I'm using white gouache for highlights, to smooth out markers, and to adjust the value. If I haven't said, I've been using a brush pen, Pigment Micron 01 markers, cool gray alcohol markers, and white gouache for the sketch. Alright, lastly, when you get the likeness, and this may be the toughest part of all, leave it alone. Don't try to make it perfect. Thanks for watching.